the issue of pandemic preparedness, because suddenly that's back on the government's agenda. They have decided to step up their pandemic planning, as they describe it, in response to recommendations from the COVID-19 Inquiry Module 1 report, the largest ever national response exercise, which is going to be held later on this year in the autumn. This national pandemic exercise is the first of its kind in nearly a decade. The last was Exercise Cygnus in 2016. If you want to know more about that, we have an article on the UK Column website by Robin Kaiser. So that was the last time they held one of these massive exercises. This new one is set to be the biggest in UK history. And this training, which is going to begin in April, is going to help, they say, help practitioners plan for and manage a range of crises, including pandemics. They're also going to carry out a national test of the emergency alert system later in 2025. And although the emergency alerts were used during, I think it was Storm Dara, one of the recent storms, some people received emergency alerts at a relatively local level. This is the first national test that's been run in a couple of years. As for the Pandemic Institute itself, they have a nice website. They were set up 3 years ago. They say they're a world-leading facility committed to helping the world prevent, prepare, and respond more effectively to pandemics. They say they've advanced research to predict and prepare for the next pandemic. Here's a little bit of video from Professor Tom Solomon, director of the Pandemic Institute. Let's have a look at this.
I think you can prepare for emerging infection problems and potentially a future pandemic. But I think also part of it is the civil response, the society response. And I think one of the problems with the COVID-19 pandemic is people just couldn't believe that it was happening. And so when we had to think about things like the social distancing measures, even the lockdowns, even though we could see it happening in China, we could see it happening in Italy, even in this country, it was hard for people to believe that similar measures were going to be needed. And of course they were needed.
I just mentioned that he was all in that video clip. He's also mentioning the old, new vaccine in 100 days trope as well. So, none of this has gone away.